Hello subscribers and unsubscribers, and welcome back to Let's Play Stellaris Star Trek New Horizons. So let's go ahead and rename this because it's the Intrepid class now, as far as I know. I might have misspelled Intrepid. Hopefully I didn't, however. And I do believe we still technically can build the NX classes in the future. It's just as it stands right now, it is going to be the Intrepids. And I think the Emmet's changed as well, actually. I think the Emmet is now the Neptune class, I think it said. But I'm not sure if they actually changed the base model, or if... I think they might change the base model. It looks different, but maybe they just increased the texture quality. I certainly saw something about higher res textures on things. I'm not sure if the Patrol Frigate actually changed from the Emmet to the Neptune, or if it's still the Emmet. I think it might have changed though. So Neptune. If I'm wrong, well, doesn't matter. The names are largely irrelevant. In fact, it doesn't matter about if I change the names. I'm just doing it because I can, basically. Also, yes, we are in the Star Pact with the Denoblians and the Benzites. And once I become president, I'll be renaming it to the Anti-Romulan Alliance, because what the hell else would we call it? Obviously, I would love to get other people within our little coalition here, but we don't really know of anyone else that would be willing to join. So, yeah. I know there's somebody up here. They might be willing to join, but first we have to meet them, and I'm not sending my fleets out to go meet them. We do have to go build up our navy, because we don't really have a navy for the most part right now. It's not an exaggeration at all. We basically don't have a navy. And those two still won't merge, which is really annoying. So, yes, this part will be spent pretty much just building up our navy, or at least trying to. I don't think we have anything to really talk about here. There's no global conflict to react to. We could extend diplomatic relations to various other nations. We could try and improve relations, technically speaking, with the Romulans. We could go ahead and start trying to negotiate a sort of peaceful annexation of the Denoblian Unity. I guess we can go ahead and get started on that. They're not a particularly large player, and they're probably still starving to death. No, but knowing them, they'll start starving to death in the future, so sure, we'll go ahead and do some low-intensity negotiations to get us on our way to annexing the Denoblian Unity. There are systems here that we can colonize, but like I said, we'll probably be focusing on trying to build up our navy because, well, it's practically non-existent in my opinion. Let's go ahead and get advanced engineering variants. Variant specifically designed with additional engineering stations and modules, thus improving our chances of survival in a fight. And let's go ahead and get... See, combat sensors I don't think are worthwhile. I really don't. They got tracking, but they have literally no sensor range. So I just don't think they're worthwhile. Let's go for physics labs, because eventually we shall have physics labs. Let's go ahead and upgrade these.
Station complete.
Leave B for now. Yeah, I know you would fail that one. Let's go ahead and I'm going to build you. See, I don't know if I want to build you a mining network. I get quite a few minerals if I can build a mining network here. But the oh my god, we were far behind on physics. You know what? We'll go for the physics. Yes, so it means we're going to cut into our mineral production, but oh yeah, our physics is a little too far behind everything else for my tastes. And you, yeah, you're going to be minerals as well. Come on. Month tick over. Axanar. Nothing I can really do there right now. Nothing I can really do on Krill. You, I could definitely do some stuff on, however. Basic mine there. Basic mine over there. You guys are... Do you have anything for... No. Well, you are... Well, you're a materialist, but... You all aren't necessarily materialists. Which is kind of annoying, actually. I'd prefer if all of you were materialists, so I could specifically set you for mining purposes. But that's not going to be the case, it seems. Again, I could try and build these deep space stations at some point in the future. We probably will, just for the hell of it, at some point. Because I haven't built them ever. So I'm kind of curious to know what they look like. Oh. You guys want to give the Zindi Council Association status? Sure. Technically, they do eventually become a Federation member, I guess. So, no reason not to give it to them if they're willing to join. I don't know how we haven't met the is it Bolians? Yeah, it's Bolians, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how we haven't met them, apparently. Because they're right up there. But we haven't met them. And the Benzites are already colonizing space that would traditionally be theirs. Screw you, Warians. Don't you see I'm in a coalition? If you declare war on me, you'll have to fight the Benzites, who don't really have a powerful navy. God, none of us have a navy. They're so expensive to build ships in this mod, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. Because it makes the ships generally more important now. Although they can also take a bit more of a beating as well, to balance things out a little. Oh, we're electing a new Prime Minister of the Federation. It looks like it's a three-way tie between Wan Mao, Katharina Sauer, and Koichiro Saito. I kind of would like Saito because he is a industrialist. So I'll go ahead and throw some government support behind him. Apparently I could try to kick you from the Federation, which is actually kind of funny to me. I don't know who it is that the game said I lost my research agreement with. I wasn't really paying attention. Okay. Physics Lab 2. Oh god, I don't remember if this is a better engine or not. I don't think it is. Power generation of 140. Yeah, no, it's technically a worse engine. Okay. I don't plan to do any resettlements though. But sure, we'll go for the crappier engine. Let's go ahead and get... I kind of would like to have that increased food. But a plus 5% to society research as a whole would actually be pretty nice as well. Yeah, no, that's good too. Well, it's not a significant difference between those. It's only about a year, a little over a year between those two, or like just under a year and a half. So screw it. Okay, Saito 1. His mandate is orbital research, despite being an industrialist, so he wants me to go and build research stations. He wants me to build at least 4 during his time as Prime Minister of the Federation. That's something I can do. Whether or not I actually do is a different story. Let's go ahead and save up some minerals. Upgrade the reassembled ship shelter, right? That's what it's called. Yeah, reassembled ship shelter on Axanar, so that it can be whatever it is, the tier above, so that we can go and upgrade the buildings there. You still have a little ways to go. And yeah, you guys also still have a little ways to go, although the Tellarites doing research will be helpful. I don't really care to upgrade you, I really don't. It's not like you're gonna do anything particularly useful research-wise, or resource-wise, excuse me, not research. Go, Axanar is gonna get that. I'm gonna need to upgrade you. Let's go ahead and do that. We research advanced engineering variants. These ships are designed to survive. Additional engineering stations and modules on our ships allow us to outfit our ships with additional armor and hull plating, as well as shield generators, thus improving our chances of survival in a fight. Let's go and get advanced starship design. I think that's what I'll need to be able to get new fronts, if I recall correctly. And those new fronts might result in us getting the NX class and whatnot back. Okay, continue with low-intensity negotiations to try and peacefully annex the Denoblian Unity. We have hit our cap for energy credits. I could try and trade some away. I might actually do that. How many minerals do you guys have, out of curiosity? And specifically, how many are you willing to part with? You're willing to part with 967 of those. So you guys 1080 energy credits. I'll get just shy of 970 minerals, which is actually not too bad of a deal. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll trade star charts just to maybe increase it a little bit, but I don't think it will. Thank you. That is helpful to me. Oh, screw it, I'll upgrade you. Build a power plant there. Yep, that's fine. You can go work there if you want. Let's go ahead and build a mine there. Let's go ahead and see if we can pump out a couple of Neptune class patrol frigates. And to fulfill our Prime Minister's wishes, we'll go ahead and try and do that. You want star charts and you'll give me some energy credits. Sure, I don't mind that. I guess I could have also gone to you guys. Do you guys have any minerals you're willing to part with? You do have a couple. It's not a substantial amount. I'll take 580, I guess. That's fine with me. Oh, for a second there, I thought it like went up from one of those. $610 for 580. Yep, that's a little bit better deal. Go to the Andorian sector. Hello, Andorians. You got any minerals you're willing to part with? Not really. You guys are basically broke. Not that I blame you. Give me your star charts as well. Again, it's not a whole lot, but it's something and allows us to actually pump out an Intrepid, which will be helpful. We're still in the... Yeah, we're still in the Enterprise era. Just kind of forgot about that for a second there. I was fairly certain we were. Not that it's that important if we are. Yeah, we don't have any particularly great systems to colonize as far as I know. It's a good omen. Yes, it is. You go over there.
Station complete.
I would love to avoid meeting the Cardassians as much as possible. At least delay it as much as possible. It's not a terrible system, and I don't have to empty anything out. There's Vega way the hell out there. You want me to give you one of my 2 Trillium Ds? Sure, Andorians. I did not even check to see how long that was supposed to last. Andorians, how long is that supposed to last? 10 years. Okay, that's fine.
Station.
I don't know why you want Trillium D for 10 years. It's a little silly, actually. Now that does take us over our cap, but that's fine. We have... I can build a thing on Mars now. No deal. Or no big deal. We have places that we can build star bases on, upgrade those star bases. So that's fine. Go over there and build your thing.
Station complete.
Automatic defense procedures initiated.
Goddamn space amoebas. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to deal with those space amoebas. And again, for some reason, these 2 damn fleets won't merge. I don't know why.
Station complete.
The Enterprise is not some special ship. Oh, because for some reason they managed to make it set up to where the Enterprise is not able to leave the fleet called the Enterprise fleet. But for some reason, our guys aren't able to merge into that fleet as well, and I don't know why. It would still be the Enterprise fleet for all intents and purposes. But, yep, that's actually a little annoying. I'm pretty sure you used to be able to merge the Enterprise into a fleet, which is great because the Enterprise on its own is just stupid to me. Especially in this game. I mean, I can understand it in the series, sure, but in this game, no, you don't send individual ships anywhere.
Station complete.
Okay, that was advanced starship design. Let's go ahead and research engineering console, because apparently we haven't done that yet. And, okay, so heavy beam emplacement is the... Okay. So, okay. Anything but the base starship destroyer is the NX class. So, I could... So, out of curiosity, your damage is 1737 with the starship. Heavy beam is 2258. Heavy torpedo is 19.36. Dreadnought, we don't actually have the heavy cannons. So it ends up only being 12.51 because you have an unfilled slot. So I'd probably go with heavy emplacement and tactical destroyer. Yeah, I think tactical destroyer is the better option for the actual NX class. So there you go. Now you have the NX class again. Let's go and actually swap you out for tactical as well. And you can't get upgraded, which kind of sucks actually. Go over there. Build your things there. That'll finish our mandate. These space amoeba look different. Maybe it's just me. Oh, we actually have the USS Magellan. So, that guy will get lost. Or die before finding what he's looking for.
Spatial rift detected.
No, actually I'd rather you guys go to Earth, just if you don't mind. It's just easier for me to keep track of you if you're within my systems, rather than these sectors. Especially since I tend to build only within my system, so... Also makes it easier for me to actually make sure you guys go where I want you to go. God, they got quite a lot of minerals up there in 7 Virginis. Or, excuse me, 70 Virginis. However it's pronounced. Better photon torpedoes. What are our current photon torpedoes? Do we have that specific information? No. Okay. Well, presumably those are better photon torpedoes no matter what. Our current ones are 40 to 84 for light photonic. Yes, so those are better. But of course, better engines doesn't hurt either. But no, we'll go for photon torpedoes because, yeah, they're just more useful at the end of the day. Okay, I don't know. Not sure if that's a bug or not. I like how I could try to kick you from the coalition. Apparently, the Benzites would agree. Let's go ahead and upgrade these spaceports because they're a little behind. Okay, and pulse phase cannons or phase discriminators or operation station. Well, I've got a research agreement on that, so let's go for phase modulated particle weaponry. So, modulating a phase cannon's particle beam allows some non-nadion particles to be filtered out with pure nadion emitters. Entering testing, it won't be long before phase cannons are replaced with true phasers. Light phase cannon is a phase modulated energy weapon. The metaphasic emitters produce a pulsed beam of phase modulated and directed energy that is much more devastating than the simple phase cannon. With advances in the field of antimatter warheads, we're now able to construct more advanced torpedo systems. Photon torpedoes are warp capable. Really? Huh. Never heard of that one. Survey completed. There's something or other there? Yeah, I don't know what you were talking about. There was something there, though. Oh, pirate base. Yeah, I guess I should deal with that. No, never mind. You have it. What are you guys looking? Heavy photonic torpedoes and light phasers on your destroyer. So they went with the heavy torpedo emplacement, which is interesting. Well, it does use less power. For some reason the game doesn't want to add anything to this slot. Ah, because it can't. Let's just slap a nuclear reactor in there. It increases the power of the ship ever so slightly, at least. Better than putting nothing there. Yeah, there's really no reason to go with the Kolpetric warp engine. It doesn't have any bonuses to it, and it's worse. Although it is cheaper, actually. Huh. Never actually realized. That is a lot cheaper. It's slightly worse than the normal Warp 3. I guess has the same distance, or same warp range and cooldown and whatnot, but is a lot cheaper than the Warp 3 engine. So I guess for ships that you want that are cheap, I guess, yeah, putting the Kolpetric warp engine is better than putting the Warp 3 engine. Yeah, okay. It does actually say on there that it is cheaper to mass produce than the Warp 3 engines, however it will come at a cost of power generation. Although it's only 20, so it's actually not that significant of a difference, in my opinion. I mean, it might be a significant difference for certain things. Sure, we'll go ahead and investigate that. And I would love to build some NX classes again, if we have the opportunity at least. I almost want to destroy the Enterprise, I really do. Just because we can't use it. Or at least it'd be a pain to use, because we gotta manage it alongside another actual fleet.
Spatial rift detected.
So there, I'll tell it to follow that fleet, but I get the feeling it's now sucking up energy. Yeah, because it's not in orbit when I tell it to follow a fleet that's in orbit. It'd be great if Paradox managed to make it to where if you tell a ship to follow a fleet that is in orbit, the ship that is told to follow automatically enters orbit as well. Or at least is considered in orbit.
Station.
So, yeah, that's going to be annoying until we reach the point where energy income is largely irrelevant to us.
Station.
Which will eventually happen. I can guarantee you that. But nonetheless, until that time, having the Enterprise set to follow the first fleet is going to lead to a situation where we're actually losing a little bit of energy credits. Or at least losing out on some. Oh my god, what is with all the space amoebas? And they're all hostile. Okay, Enterprise, you're gonna go follow the first fleet, and the first fleet's gonna go and kill some more space amoebas. Eventually, someone's gonna ask me, is this gonna be a stand-up fight, sir, or just another amoeba hunt? Okay, there's the Bolian League. Took us long enough to meet them. I don't know why. It just did. Our citizens greet you in peace. We'll offer you association status. And we'll eventually try to invite you to the Federation. But in the meantime, you got a lot of society research that I, and I'm sure the rest of the Federation, would love to get our hands on. So how about some energy credits? Can I have this for 30 years? I could. Let's try and get it for 30 years. Because you're going to be a long-time member, I'm sure. I don't know. What do we have more of? Toxic kelp or glaciers? I don't actually see any glaciers within our directly controlled systems, but I do see toxic kelp. So let's go with toxic kelp. Learn how to clear that. Actually, wait, no, go to wolf and build that. I don't really need a frontier outpost here so much. I guess I'll get rid of it if I colonize this system, which I think I will. It says the Tellarites would be the best to colonize here. Which, I can't have the Tellarites colonize until I go over and build a spaceport around a Tellarite world. So let's go ahead and do that so we can send the Tellarites to go and colonize Theta Sculptoris 2. So that I can get rid of the frontier outpost in Epsilon Indy without having to fear my borders getting pushed back. Devron 4 seems like a fairly nice system. It's a fairly large planet, although admittedly Devron 3 is a larger planet, but it is also already colonized. And, well, we'd rather not go and do anything. Whoops, wrong selection. You want star charts, and you'll give me minerals for it, sure. Go kill some more space amoebas, guys. I feel as if this part did not actually last 30 minutes, but according to DX Story, it's been going for 30 minutes. It just doesn't feel like it, at least in my opinion. What do you want? You want migration treaty? Sure, no reason for me to say no. Okay, the Benzites are still the president of the Federation. And I guess I'll be ending this part once our guys arrive back in orbit of Earth. No, I'm not going to give you minerals for a research agreement with people that hate me. That just sounds stupid. It's like, we hate you, but if you give us a couple of minerals, maybe, if we feel so inclined, we'll give you a research agreement. No, that's not the way it works. If there's going to be a research agreement between us, it's going to be at no cost to me, because, yeah, you don't have a lot of stuff. Well, in my opinion, you don't have a lot of stuff that I don't have. You go and research that stuff. Oh, the Rotor system has the Brazite nitrate, or however the hell it's pronounced. So, we're going to want to go and colonize Rotor 3. Which, according to this, humans and Novians are the best. So, of course, we're going to go with regular old humans. And we're going to go ahead and colonize, I think, this blank tile here. Yeah, I think that gives me the best control over the adjacent tiles and what they produce for the best adjacency bonuses. Yeah, we're going to go and call it Concord, sure. Alpha Camillus also has this. And this is an Alpine world. It's actually a... I kind of like this tile set for Alpine worlds. Oh my god, more space amoebas, right? Oh no, pirates. Okay, well, that's a little bit less annoying. I was thinking it's going to be more amoebas. Because that's basically all we've run into this whole time, is amoebas. See, the game really thinks it's best to go and give the Kolpetric warp engine to our ships. I presume it's like, well, you can save a little bit on costs if you go and do that, which, holy crap, I'd say about 200 on the Intrepid. That is a pretty significant price difference for the Intrepid. And it doesn't seem to hurt the damage output all that significantly. Although the tracking does go down because we don't get the +6 tracking of a security station. For the NX class, it's actually slightly better in terms of pure damage. Although we do lose out on the crew quarters for monthly hull regeneration. Although I guess monthly hull regeneration isn't that big of a deal. But I don't care for Deutronium fuel tanks game. I just want you to know that. These ships are going to be in a fleet more often than not with other ships of different designs. So putting deuteronium fuel tanks just seems stupid to me. Because I'd have to then have these ships in a completely separate fleet just so that they can get that warp range. In reality, it ends up being better for me not to give it to them. That way they save on energy. Although in this case, deuteronium fuel tanks don't cost anything, but they do cost minerals to put on our ships. But if our ships aren't going to be able to make use of them anyway, what's the point of even putting them on the ship in the first place? So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and redesign the NX class. We are going to be losing the force fields or whatever it was putting in the engineering slot. And we're going for a cheaper engine. It's not that bad. It's going to save us a decent amount in cost. I mean, we're going down from 1,055 minerals down to 905. It's a fairly decent price difference. I might even be able to slap, nope. Can I put anything there? Like anything that'll actually work? No. Instead, they can't put a reactor in an auxiliary slot. Kind of annoying, really. I wish I could. I guess Bizarre collectors wouldn't be that bad, but you don't actually have the power to put a Bizarre collector there, so yeah, we'll just go with the NX class like this. Again, the idea is we save a little bit on costs because they are pretty expensive, and you do actually need that reactor for the Intrepid. But the Intrepid does go down like a little over 100 in costs, which again is helpful. The Neptune is not as significant of a price difference, so that probably has to do with it being a fairly cheap ship in the first place. Okay, change of plans. Go and upgrade around Mars. I said upgrade around Mars. So I'm sure they took a bit of a hit to their military power, but it probably wasn't too substantial. And again, it'll save us money for future ships. And it's just easier to have all the ships already upgraded. Well, let's hold off on getting the new two. I'll end the part once we have the new photon torpedoes, unless something major happens, like the Romulans declaring war on us. If that happens, I'll end the part right then and there. And you'll have to wait till next time. But I don't think that's going to happen, so we'll just wait until we have photon torpedoes. Level 2 photon torpedoes, specifically. I wouldn't mind getting all this Trillium D. I mean, is it really that useful? Not really. To have just tons and tons of Trillium D, because you don't get the sadly, these bonuses don't stack as far as I know. As far as I know, they're one-time things. You get it once and it stays once. I would love it if they stacked, though. Although I guess that would be overpowered, especially as you expand. Let's go for Planetary Administration for the plus 5% to research speed for society. Don't do it. You'll fail it, I'm sure. You had a 20% chance of failure, but you would still find a way to fail it. Wow, Altair actually has quite a bit of stuff, but I can't colonize because it's primal. The only colonizable system is primal. And humans and Novians only have a 35% habitability to it right now. So I have to go and colonize Myri. Which I guess isn't that bad. Yeah, let's go and colonize Myri. But where? I guess here. No, not there. Here it gives me 3 tiles. But I don't get to build a bunch of upgraded power plants on that tile. If I go here, I get no minerals ever from this tile. Yeah, there's not really anywhere great to build here, is there? In the grand scheme of things. None of these tiles are particularly great. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to live without the tons of upgraded power plants there. for that specific tile. And we're back at our cap for energy credits. Again, I could trade these. Oh, never mind. I think the benzites are already going to go and colonize that system. Yes, they're colonizing Myri. And they'll probably rename it because of the way the game is. So it won't be Myri once we get it. Although, of course, we could rename it to Myri if I remember. And trust me, I won't.
Station complete.
Research complete.
Okay, we got better photon torpedoes. Let's go ahead and research defense satellites. Are they worthwhile? Hell no. Just like most technology here, when it comes to defensive stuff, it's just not worth it. But at least in the case of the defense stations, they're not like mines, which are super expensive. Probably pretty deadly, but still super expensive. And they only work if the enemy flies within their direct area. And you're pretty much going to be forced to fly into the area of a defense station at some point. I kind of want to go with the heroic landmark for the bonus to Unity production, especially since our Unity production is pretty crappy right now. XNR upgrade. You guys have upgrades you can do, so do them. You guys don't have upgrades yet because this guy's not quite fully grown, but he will be if I go and just wait another month. So let's go and wait a month real quick. Let this guy become fully grown. And go ahead and queue that up for an upgrade. And let's go ahead and select the new photon torpedoes on our ships. Because photon torpedoes are great. If anyone tells you otherwise, they are, again, as per usual, lying to you.
Ships upgraded.
Okay. And that's going to be it for this part. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, a goodbye and farewell. And yes, I did rename the ships already in one save. There's really no need for that save, though. I don't know why I didn't bother loading that save that I had already changed the names of the ships previously, but whatever. Okay, yes. So I will see you guys, like I said, in the next part, but until then, goodbye and farewell.